It's a quick up. Hello. So just a quick update video on my beautifully cheap E39 5 Series. Big day today, as it's NCT. So for anyone who happens to be watching this from outside of Ireland, so if you're from the UK, it's the equivalent of the NCT is the equivalent of the MOT. It's called the National Car Test. Unlike the MOT though, which is run by independent garages, there's one company who does it over here called, I think it's called Arbutus. They've been having issues recently. Now in fairness, it's because of the MOT centres up north who had failures in their ramps, and then there was an inspection done, and out of 146 ramps, apparently 80 of them were due for imminent failure. So because the same ramps are used here by the NCT centres, they had to stop using all the ramps immediately, have them all inspected. Some of them were okay, a very small amount. Those centres were back up and running. Some have been repaired, those are up and running, and then there's a large chunk of them that still aren't repaired and probably won't all be done until the end of April. That's the last thing I've heard. This centre I'm going to here now, I won't drop their name because it's not their fault, but I was up here a couple of weeks ago with a different car and the ramps weren't working. So although the car passed everything that it was put through, they give you a fail sheet, and it just says at the bottom, ramp test still needed. So fingers crossed it's back up and running here. It's unlikely, but fingers crossed, because I would love to get the disc for this and the NCT certificate to seal the deal on this cheap 5 Series. It's unlikely, but we shall see. What could possibly go wrong? You're supposed to have your logbook with you when you go to the NCT, although I've never been asked for it. I haven't received the logbook for this yet, so I contacted the motor tax office, because when I went online, the car is registered in my name to my address. They claimed there was an error in the address, so I was like, well, the details are okay online. They were like, well, look, we received wrong details, so you'll have to pay, I think they wanted 22 quid for a new logbook. Thankfully, I have a photocopy of the logbook, and all the details are correct, which I attached to them in an email. So they are going to send one out for free now, thankfully. That might sound like I was being a bit bitchy, but it's happened to me before. They sent a logbook for another car to a different house, even though I've been living at that house for 30 years. I don't think I spelled it wrong, but I had no evidence to back it up, so I had to pay for one that time. Anyway, I digress. Other than that, look, it feels absolutely mechanically fine. I'd be surprised if this does fail. I haven't had it up on a ramp myself, so I haven't checked the underneath, but it feels fine. Other than I was on my knees, no laughing, with a torch to have a quick look. Everything seems okay. Occasionally there's a warning light that comes up on the dash occasionally to say there's something wrong with the rear lights. All the rear lights are working. Apparently this can be a fault with E39 5 Series. There's a loose connection for the centre brake light, and it causes the light to come on and off. Today, unfortunately, it seems to be one of those days where it is coming on sporadically, so hopefully it doesn't come on when the tester gets in, because apparently it's not the easiest of fixes, but it's also not really a relevant fix because everything still works. So yeah, other than that, it should be fine. So hopefully the ramps are up and working. Look, I'm not going to get annoyed about it. You know, it could have caused injury to people. We don't want people getting hurt. So we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I'm going to turn off the camera now, because when I was up here a couple of weeks ago, I took a photo of my car getting tested, and they got very pissy with me for taking a photo, because apparently cameras aren't allowed in the NCT centre. I don't know what they have to hide. I'm not going to get into that. But I'm going to turn it off. But when I return, post-test, fingers crossed, we've passed, or at least, if they can't do the full test, we've passed everything that they can check. So I will be back in about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how long this takes. Hopefully not that long. Bye. I'm back. And bad news, the ramps aren't up and running yet, which was about expected. Good news though, it has passed with flying colours and everything else, so we're doing well so far. Yeah, so we'll see. I think Fonthill has ramps back up and running, so I might see if I can book with them. It's a bit, I don't know if you have to go back to the same centre. Hopefully not. If not, I will go up there and try and get this car and my other car that I need to get done, get their NCT completed. But I suppose you know, that wasn't too bad. At least it hasn't failed in anything, and that they were able to check, which I'm happy about. So I'm gonna go now and, you know, as a treat, give it some of the fancy fuel from one of the petrol stations, and I'm gonna treat myself to a vegan sausage roll because that's how I roll. No pun intended, although it was pretty weak even if it was. I will have another video along soon enough, not on this, on something different hopefully. So keep liking, keep subscribing, because there will be more videos along very. Just a quick selfie cam update with my dickhead sunglasses on. That warning light I was talking about the rear lights, has actually just come on. So well timed. It was on earlier this morning, and now that I've done my test, it's back on. Good timing. Yes, I'm glad you stayed off for the test. I will put in some footage of this just to highlight it. Just so I'd let you know. God bless and see you soon. Hey.